You know what it reminds me of? That time we were sitting at the pier in the Tommy Thompson Park, just talking,
Yeah.
and then some kid threw a stone at my head.
Yeah.
Remember that?
That was, oh,
That was
yeah.
incredible, dude. It was just so unexpected, and it was this proper stone just being thrown
Yeah.
at my head that I was like, "What is going on?" And then there's just kid because he doesn't know what's going on. He just throws
Yeah.
stones. One went into my head. It was so random. It kind of like made me so hyper aware all of a sudden. I'm like, should I be like paying attention to stuff or something?
Yeah.
Because I'm just sitting there not touching anybody, and suddenly my head hurts.
That's what happens. But then I can see the horror of the woman, the mother.
But
It's
yeah,
like, oh
she's
my
like
God,
realizing,
no. Yeah, I'm apologizing profusely, but like, yeah, it was. I could see in her eyes, like, no, what did you
yeah,
do?
yeah, yeah. Could be a
Yeah,
problem.
and
I
even the
mean,
kid
but
was like, my bad, I'm sorry.
it's so hilarious for the kid because like he has no excuses.
Yeah,
He threw the stone, but
yeah,
it's the fact that it's just his body. He doesn't know how the coordination yet,
yeah.
so he just like can't control his body
S-
properly and gets into trouble because of that. Yeah, it was
But
really funny. But really, there's nothing you can do in this situation. So you just have to accept the fact that a stone got thrown into your head, but there's nothing, there's no fault, right? There's no malice, there's no nothing. But
sometime,
you had to be struck in the head with a stone for some reason. Why is that?
and you're lucky you
Sometimes it do
survive,
be like that.
right? Sometimes these are fail.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. See, that's why, life can be just like that. So I think to think you gotta recontextualize everything, right? With with things like this happening and you kind of realize things like this has been and always will happen, then you realize, oh, all my problems in my life are nothing. All the little things I'm like fussing about, they mean nothing. Why are you fussing over this, like not enjoying your life while you're alive? Because things like that could happen. You'll be out of not fault of your own and you're dead. Something happened, right? You won't be alive anymore. So it doesn't matter it almost doesn't matter what you think, right? But the only thing that matters, as far as you're concerned, you better think some good thoughts. You better have some good times. Otherwise, it could just end like that, you know? So that really would just be sobering. Like, yeah, I better enjoy my life. I better do the things I want to do. I better make the most out of it. Otherwise, you
Yeah,
know?
that's why it felt so jolting because, I mean, I remember we were talking about something, being really engaged, but when something like that unexpected happens, you just kind of like taken out all of a sudden, you're taken out of a flow of regular life and you're like, right, what's happening? What's going on?
Back to
So,
reality.
yeah. I mean, it was funny right there, right away, because like I thought it was funny. Like it wasn't a big deal. It didn't hurt that much or anything. So all things considered, it was pretty funny. It's just, yeah, it's funny to think that stuff happens. Some kids throw a stone at your head, and then you have to deal with the reality that comes up. You don't get to choose or control things all the time.